Hothouse is different than other artists in that there's two of us working together. We've worked together for over a decade and developed a relationship in that we can figure out things that we wouldn't be able to do alone. By working together, it might be a technique that one of us had the thought of, but wasn't able to figure out all the components to. But we're able to work together and develop things that people haven't seen before.
That frosting. I'm not sure how that's going to change the whole effect of when we read through it.
Marbles is kind of the end result of a long process. We started out more traditionally blown glass, doing bowls and vases and such. Over time, we've kind of gravitated more towards the spheres and marbles. I guess it's where most of our interests lie at this point. All the techniques and the tools that go into glass making kind of get distilled down. All the extraneous things that get stripped away, and when you look at it, it is the summation kind of glass working. It has the color and it has the form and the shape, but it has all the things that is glass, the transparency, the translucency, the reflection. It's all kind of there in this nice tiny little package. A lot of glass blowers are more into making large, big, showy pieces and big sculptural things. We've kind of gone in a different direction and gotten smaller and smaller. We're just kind of captivated by what we can do with just a very limited space.
We started to specialize in marbles because it was something I had an interest in as a collector, and we realized it's something that we enjoyed doing. We could take everything that we had learned over the years and bring it together in one particular format, and a format that's easy to transport, it's easy to get in the hands of people, and it's also a shape that just people love to look at and touch. The process of marble making is one in which you have to think of it being built from the inside out.
It's just an offshoot kind of glass blowing. It's using all the same tools and techniques. You're just not blowing air into it. We've got a furnace that's full of clear glass that's melted. We gather glass out of there onto a rod. Then we can apply any number of forms of colored glass onto the surface of that. Then we can put more clear glass over it. And we can keep doing that and building up these layers, and so you can get lots of depth into the glass. Once you've gotten all the glass and all the color arranged, then it's just a matter of forming spheres off of that gather of glass.
But it originally starts as a cylinder, and we work that shape down and finally reach the completed shape of the marble or a perfect sphere.
There's a lot of technology in what we do, more so than there would have been 100 or 1,000 years ago, certainly. But so much of what we do is rooted in techniques that are 1,000 years old.
In the past, you would have fired your furnaces with wood or even gas. Now we have an electric tank that we use. We also have computer controllers that allow us to control the entire annealing process to ensure our quality is there. We use glass that's formulated specifically for what we do, and it gives us a clarity and a control that as artists is important to us. A variety of different things influence our work.
There's just inspiration anywhere. We did one marble specifically that was just colors that I saw in a chrysanthemum. Just like the combination of these three colors, I thought, ooh, we can do that, let's try that. There's a lot of one-off kind of things that we'll do just to kind of experiments on our own, because it might lead to something else. So there's always a little bit of experimentation and play going on.
Sometimes certain colors bring about certain emotions. It could be fabric, it could be things that people say to us, that they remember marbles from the past. We do marbles based on some older styles that we've seen, trying to keep a foot in the past, but also take that same type of imagery and think, what would they have done if they had the things available to them that we do today? Collaborations with other artists are an important thing, and seeing their work and seeing them at the shows that we do or workshops.
There are many ways to achieve a certain effect or a certain technique, and everybody seems to develop their own little twists on them, and it's sometimes very interesting and informative to see how other people have taken and put their own little spin on things.
We're all working in the format of marbles, but that little sphere can hold so much within it, and you wouldn't think that the number of things that are possible are there. And we're always having our eyes open to to what somebody else has discovered. Marble collecting has continued to grow over the years. People don't play with marbles like they used to, but they recognize them as something that is familiar to them, and it's something that they can fit into their lives very easily. They have a shelf, they have a space, but it has memories attached to it that people, I think, as they always tell us, that it gives them a certain amount of comfort, joy to look at it as well. There are the people that collect from a value standpoint. There's also people that collect just because that's their nature. They like to have things in their life. Not all buyers are collectors. We find that when we do the art fairs outside, that those people just, I think, purely react on a level of the visual interest that they have in it. Art fairs are a competitive environment. There's so many throughout the country, but there's only a certain number of the ones that are at the highest level. And that's where we want to be, and that's where we continue to focus our efforts.
There's various levels of competitiveness in different art fairs. Some are a little more difficult to get into. Everybody has to be juried into the show. There's an application process. You send in samples of your work that's judged, and like I said, the higher end shows, the larger shows are certainly more competitive.
How long does it take you to make one of these?
It depends on the style. It takes a couple hours just to lay out all the squares.
Really?
There's a lot of waste, a lot that don't make the cut.
Those are beautiful.
Our work is continued, I think, to get tighter and also visually more interesting. But from a quality standpoint, we continue to get better from aesthetic standpoint as well. And we're reaching a larger number of people, and we're building a following. And that's what we want to do, is share these objects with people and make it part of their life.